Look in that mirror and ask yourself, who the am I really? Not who you tell people you are, not who you post about being on social media. Who are you when no one's watching and the only voice you hear is the one telling you to quit? The pain you feel today will be the strength you feel tomorrow. But most people can't connect those dots. They see discomfort as something to avoid rather than the only path to becoming who they claim they want to be. I'm going to tell you something right now that might piss you off. You're soft. Yeah, I said it. We all are. We've been conditioned by a world that promises comfort at every turn. Temperature too hot? Turn on the AC. Feeling hungry? Order delivery? Workout getting tough? Take a break. It's killing your potential, slowly, day by day. I was there too, living at 40% of my capacity, thinking I was giving it my all. What a joke. The truth hit me like a freight train when I realized that everything I thought was hard work was just scratching the surface of what I could actually do. The human body and mind are capable of so much more than we're taught to believe. Here's what nobody wants to admit. Growth only happens when you're uncomfortable. Think about it, a muscle doesn't grow unless you tear it down first. Your mind works the same damn way. When was the last time you deliberately made yourself uncomfortable? When did you last choose the harder path just to callous your mind? On this channel, Power of Mind, we don't do motivation. Motivation is temporary. It's unreliable. It's for amateurs. What we're building here is a system, the Deliberate Discomfort Method, a way to systematically expose yourself to hardship so you can access that untapped 60% of your potential that's lying dormant inside you right now. For the next 30 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to implement this method in your own life. No fluff, no BS, just tactical approaches to breaking through your mental barriers. You'll learn how to override your brain's quit mechanism, how to use the cookie jar method to fuel yourself through challenges, and how to build an accountability mirror that makes excuses impossible. This isn't going to be easy. If you're looking for comfort, you've come to the wrong place. But if you're ready to meet the real you, the one capable of achievements beyond what you can currently imagine, then strap in. The path to greatness is paved with deliberate discomfort, and we're about to walk it together. Think about your morning routine. Warm shower, coffee, phone scrolling, air conditioning. Everything designed to be smooth, easy, painless. But here's what most people miss. These comforts aren't blessings. They're slowly destroying your capacity to achieve anything meaningful. Your body and mind are adaptation machines. They're built to respond to stress by getting stronger. No stress, no growth. It's that simple. When you remove all discomfort from your life, you're literally programming yourself for weakness. That morning routine I just described, it's training your brain to expect ease. And when life inevitably gets hard, as it always does, you'll be completely unprepared. Look at any achievement worth a damn in human history. Behind every single one, you'll find someone who embraced discomfort when everyone else ran from it. While others took the easy path, they deliberately chose difficulty. They understood that comfort isn't a reward. It's a cage disguised as a reward. Your brain has evolved a powerful mechanism to protect you from harm. It's called the comfort zone. This mechanism served your ancestors well when dangers were physical and immediate. But in today's world, this same mechanism is keeping you weak. It's whispering to you, don't try that. It might be hard. You might fail. You might look stupid. And every time you listen, your comfort zone shrinks a little more. The first step in the Deliberate Discomfort Method is recognizing this trap for what it is. Comfort isn't neutral. It's actively working against you. Starting tomorrow morning, I want you to take a cold shower. Not lukewarm, cold. Feel that initial shock, the resistance, the voice telling you to turn up the temperature. That voice is your enemy. That resistance is where growth begins. Your assignment, 5 minutes, every morning. No excuses. This isn't about hygiene. It's about training your mind to embrace discomfort as the pathway to achievement. Welcome to the method. Most people never meet their true selves. They meet the comfortable version, the socially acceptable version, the version that quits when things get hard. Today, we're going to change that. The accountability mirror is your first weapon against mediocrity. Find a mirror in your house. Stand in front of it. Look yourself dead in the eyes and tell the truth about who you really are. Not who you post about being, not who you tell your friends you are, who you actually are when no one's watching. What promises have you broken to yourself? Where have you chosen comfort over growth? Where have you lied about your effort? This exercise isn't about beating yourself up. It's about establishing a baseline of brutal honesty. You can't improve what you don't acknowledge. Most people live their entire lives without ever having this conversation with themselves. They hide behind excuses, behind, "I'm trying my best," when they know damn well they're not. Your assignment: every morning after your cold shower, stand in front of your mirror for 5 minutes. Speak out loud the uncomfortable truths about yourself. Then write down 3 specific actions you'll take today to move toward becoming the person you claim you want to be. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Today. The gap between who you are and who you want to be is filled with discomfort. Period. There's no bypassing this truth. The only question is whether you'll have the courage to face yourself honestly. Most won't. They'll read this, think, "Good idea," and never actually do it because it's uncomfortable. Don't be most people. Remember, this isn't a one-time exercise. This is a daily practice of meeting your true self in the mirror. At first, it will be painful. You'll want to look away, to soften the truth, to make excuses. Don't. The discomfort you feel is the sound of your comfort zone beginning to crack. That's exactly the sound we're looking for. Your mind is lying to you. When it screams that you're at your limit, you've actually only tapped about 40% of your true capacity. This isn't motivational bullshit. It's been documented in military research, athletic performance studies, and cognitive science. Think about the last time you were completely exhausted during a workout. Lungs burning, muscles failing, every part of you screaming to stop. That's your brain's governor kicking in. It's designed to keep resources in reserve, to protect you from depleting yourself completely. But here's the thing. In today's world, this safety mechanism is holding you back from what you're truly capable of achieving. The 40% rule is simple. When your mind is convinced you're done, you're only 40% done. You've got 60% more in the tank. The question is, do you have the mental toughness to override your brain's quit mechanism? Most people don't. They accept the first signal to stop as the final word. The elite, the uncommon among the uncommon, have trained themselves to recognize this signal as just the beginning. Your assignment: the next time you work out, when you hit the point where you think you need to stop, do 10 more. 10 more reps, 10 more minutes, 10 more whatever. Your mind will fight you. It will create pain, amplify discomfort, generate compelling reasons to stop. That's the governor. Push through it. This isn't about the workout. It's about training your mind to recognize that its first assessment of "I'm done" is a lie. This principle applies beyond physical challenges. That project you don't want to start because it seems overwhelming, the difficult conversation you're avoiding, the goal that seems impossible, your assessment of the difficulty is coming from that same governor. It's designed to keep you comfortable, not to help you achieve. Breaking through the 40% barrier is how you access your true potential across every area of your life. Your hands get calluses when they're repeatedly exposed to friction. Your mind works the same way. Deliberate exposure to discomfort doesn't just toughen you temporarily, it fundamentally changes how you respond to difficulty in the future. This process is called callousing the mind. It's systematically exposing yourself to discomfort until your response to that discomfort changes. At first, the cold shower is shocking. By day 30, it's just your morning routine. Your mind has calloused. The same stimulus no longer produces the same stress response. The key is consistency and gradual progression. You don't build calluses by going through extreme hardship once. You build them through daily exposure to manageable discomfort that incrementally increases over time. It's not about throwing yourself into hypothermia. It's about taking a cold shower every single morning and gradually decreasing the temperature as your mind adapts. Your assignment: identify 3 areas of your life where you consistently avoid discomfort. Maybe it's public speaking. Maybe it's physical exertion. Maybe it's difficult conversations. For each area, design a daily discomfort practice. If it's public speaking, record yourself speaking for 1 minute every day. If it's physical, add one exercise you hate to your daily routine. If it's confrontation, have one slightly uncomfortable conversation daily. The mind calluses through exposure, not avoidance. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you're training your mind to be soft. Every time you choose discomfort for the purpose of growth, you're building mental toughness that will serve you in every area of your life. Remember, callousing your mind isn't about being miserable. It's about developing the capacity to perform when life gets difficult, as it inevitably will. The difference between those who achieve and those who don't isn't talent or opportunity. It's who has developed the mental calluses to push through when discomfort arrives. The accountability mirror isn't just an object. It's a system. It's a way to prevent your mind from doing what it naturally wants to do, lie to itself. Because let's be honest, you become an expert at self-deception. Most people think they're working hard. They're not. Most people think they're giving their best. They're not even close. The accountability mirror forces you to confront the gap between who you say you are and who your actions prove you to be. No more hiding, no more excuses, just the brutal truth staring back at you. Here's how to build your accountability mirror system. Take a physical mirror in your home. Using sticky notes or a dry erase marker, write your commitments directly on it. Not vague bullshit like try harder or be better. Specific, measurable actions. Complete 100 push-ups daily. Read 20 pages every night. Make 10 sales calls before noon. Items that can't be faked or rationalized. Each morning, face this mirror. Each evening, return to it. Check off what you've completed. For what you haven't, you have two choices. Do it immediately, no matter how tired you are, or transfer it to tomorrow with an added penalty. Miss your 100 push-ups? Tomorrow it's 150. The penalty creates a system where procrastination becomes more painful than action. Your assignment: create your accountability mirror tonight. Start with just 3 commitments, specific, measurable actions that push you toward your goals. For 1 week, face this mirror morning and night. Document your completion rate. I guarantee you'll discover how often you've been lying to yourself about your effort. The power of the accountability mirror is that it removes your ability to hide from yourself. There's no algorithm showing you only what you want to see. There's no social validation to mask your lack of action. There's just you, your commitments, and the undeniable evidence of whether you're following through or not. This system creates a level of accountability that most people never experience. And that's exactly why most people never achieve what they're capable of. Pain is not your enemy. Discomfort is not your enemy. They are the only reliable path to growth. Let me say that again. Pain and discomfort are not obstacles to overcome on the path to achievement. They are the path. The difference between the elite and everyone else isn't that the elite don't experience pain. It's that they've developed a fundamentally different relationship with pain. Where most run from it, they lean into it. While most see it as a signal to stop, they recognize it as a signal that real growth is beginning. This mindset shift doesn't happen through affirmations or visualization. It happens through deliberate exposure and reframing. When you feel the burn during a workout, most people think, this hurts, I need to stop. The uncommon think, this is where growth happens. Same stimulus, completely different interpretation. Bro, your assignment. For the next 7 days, every time you experience discomfort, physical or mental, I want you to say out loud, good, this is where growth happens. Feel your legs burning during a run? Good, this is where growth happens. Anxious about making that difficult phone call? Good, this is where growth happens. Struggling to focus on that challenging project? Good, this is where growth happens. This isn't about positive thinking. This is about neurologically rewiring your response to discomfort. When you consistently pair the sensation of discomfort with a growth mindset rather than an avoidance mindset, you literally change the neural pathways in your brain. Over time, discomfort becomes a trigger for focus and effort rather than avoidance. Embracing the suck isn't masochism. It's not about seeking pain for pain's price of long-term achievement. It's about recognizing and deciding that temporary discomfort. Most won't pay it. Most will continue to organize their lives around avoiding discomfort, and that's why most will never achieve what they're truly capable of. When you're in the middle of hell, when every part of you is screaming to quit, you need a system to keep going. Motivation won't cut it. Willpower isn't enough. You need the cookie jar. The cookie jar is your personal repository of past victories. Times when you pushed through when others would have quit. Times when you faced adversity and came out the other side. These aren't just memories. They're fuel for when your tank hits empty. Most people focus on how far they still have to go, how much pain they're currently in, how impossible the challenge seems. This is exactly the wrong mental strategy. Instead, the cookie jar method has you draw on past evidence of your capacity to endure. Coins, here's how to build your cookie jar. Take 30 minutes tonight and write down every hard thing you've ever done and completed, every challenge you've overcome, every time you pushed when you wanted to quit. Be specific. Don't just write, "I finished that marathon." Write, "At mile 18 of the Chicago Marathon, my knee was screaming, and I still had 8 miles to go. I could have quit, but I kept putting one foot in front of the other until I crossed the finish line." Your assignment: create a physical cookie jar. This can be notes in your phone, a small notebook you carry, or actual written notes in an actual jar. Start with at least 10 specific examples of times you pushed through significant discomfort to achieve something. Then, crucially, practice accessing these mental cookies before you need them. During your next workout, when things get tough, consciously pull out a specific cookie. If I could finish that project with a 103-degree fever, I can certainly do 5 more reps. The cookie jar works because it shifts your focus from the present discomfort to past evidence of your capability. It reminds you with specific examples that you've done hard things before and can do them again. It's not abstract motivation. It's concrete evidence that you have the capacity to endure. Most people never build this resource. When things get hard, they have nothing to draw on except their present experience of pain. The cookie jar ensures you never face a challenge with empty mental hands. Cold is one of the most immediately uncomfortable sensations humans can experience. That's exactly why it's such a powerful tool for building mental toughness. When you deliberately expose yourself to cold, you're training one of the most fundamental survival mechanisms to respond to your willpower rather than your instinct. The science behind cold exposure is clear. It triggers a cascade of physiological responses: increased norepinephrine, enhanced immune function, improved circulation, increased brown fat activation. But we're not primarily after these physical benefits. We're after the mental callousing that happens when you voluntarily put yourself in discomfort and stay there. Your assignment: progress through these 3 levels of cold exposure, spending at least 2 weeks at each level. Level 1. End every shower with 30 seconds of the coldest water you can get. Stand still, focus on controlling your breathing, and resist the urge to escape. Level 2. Start and end every shower with 60 seconds of cold. Feel the initial shock, observe your body's panic response, and consciously override it. Level 3. Full cold showers, minimum 3 minutes, every day. No warm water at all. For the advanced, add weekly cold immersion. This could be an ice bath, a cold plunge tank, or even a cold lake or ocean. Start with 1 minute and build up to 5 minutes over time. 1. The key is not to distract yourself during these exposures. Don't sing, don't count down the seconds. Don't think about your plans for the day. Be fully present with the discomfort. Observe your mind's attempts to escape, the rationalizations, the urgency, the complaints. Then choose to stay anyway. Cold exposure works as mental training because it creates a perfect microcosm of life's challenges, an immediate discomfort that your mind desperately wants to escape, which you can overcome only through conscious choice and mental discipline. The skills you build in those cold minutes transfer directly to every other challenge in your life. Remember, the goal isn't to get used to the cold. The goal is to get used to being uncomfortable and performing anyway. The cold is just the tool. The real transformation happens in your mind. Sleep isn't a luxury, it's a weapon. But most people have the completely wrong approach to it. They treat sleep like some passive activity, something that just happens. The uncommon among the uncommon understand that sleep is a discipline that requires the same intentionality as every other aspect of performance. Here's the truth. Quality sleep isn't about comfort. It's not about the softest mattress or the perfect temperature. It's about creating a system that optimizes recovery while maintaining mental toughness. Your body needs recovery. Your mind needs to remain disciplined. Both are possible with the right approach. Your sleep discipline protocol starts with consistency. Your body craves rhythm. Go to bed at the same time. Wake up at the same time. No exceptions. Not for weekends, not for vacations, not for anything. When you constantly shift your sleep schedule, you're putting your body in a perpetual state of jet lag. That's weakness disguised as flexibility. Next, earn your sleep. If you haven't pushed yourself physically and mentally during the day, you haven't earned the right to deep restorative sleep. Your body recovers in proportion to the stress you've placed on it. No stress, no growth, no need for deep recovery. Make sure every day contains enough deliberate stress that your body craves recovery. Your assignment. For the next 30 days, set a non-negotiable sleep and wake time. I don't care what times you choose, but once you choose them, they're written in stone. No hitting snooze, no sleeping in on weekends. When that alarm goes off, your feet hit the floor immediately. Period. This isn't about the specific times. It's about building the discipline to follow through on commitments even when your body is begging for comfort. Remember, sleep is not an escape from discipline. It's another opportunity to practice it. How you approach sleep will reflect how you approach every other aspect of performance. Make it intentional. Make it disciplined. And watch as this discipline carries over into everything else you do. There's a phenomenon every endurance athlete knows, but most regular people never experience. The second win. That moment when you've been pushing through fatigue, convinced you can't go any further, and suddenly the fatigue lifts. Energy returns. Clarity comes back. You find a new gear you didn't know existed. Most people never experience this because they quit at the first sign of fatigue. They never push far enough to discover what's on the other side of that initial wall. They live their entire lives in the first phase of energy, never knowing there are multiple phases beyond it. The second win principle isn't just about physical endurance. It applies to every challenging endeavor. That project you've been grinding on for hours, feeling your focus slip, push through. There's another level of clarity waiting on the other side. That difficult learning curve where nothing seems to click. Stay there longer than your mind wants to. Breakthrough understanding often comes right after the point where most would quit. Your assignment. Choose one physical activity, running, swimming, cycling, whatever. Start your stopwatch. Go until you hit your first wall, that moment when your body is screaming to stop. Note the time. Then, rather than stopping, consciously slow your pace by about 20% and continue. Push for at least 50% longer than your first quitting point. If you hit the wall at 20 minutes, go for at least 30. Notice what happens to your energy, your mental state, and your perceived exertion during this extended period. The second win principle reveals an uncomfortable truth. Your perceived limits are fiction. They're based not on your actual capacity, but on your brain's conservative estimation of your capacity. By systematically pushing beyond these perceived limits, you recalibrate your brain's understanding of what you're capable of. This isn't just about physical performance. This is about developing the mental framework to recognize that your first impulse to quit, in anything, is almost always premature. There is more in you. Always. The only question is whether you have the courage to push through long enough to find it. Your brain has a built-in governor, a protective mechanism designed to shut you down long before you reach your actual limits. This governor evolved to keep you alive in prehistoric times, conserving energy for survival. But in today's world of achievement, this same mechanism is holding you back from what you're truly capable of accomplishing. The governor operates through discomfort. When you push toward your real capabilities, it creates pain, fatigue, doubt, and fear. Not because you're at your limit, but precisely because you're approaching your untapped potential. The governor is the voice that says, you can't, when the reality is, you absolutely can, but it's going to hurt. Defeating the governor isn't a one-time event. It's a process of systematically proving to your brain that you can go beyond what it believes is possible. Each time you push past the shutdown signal, you recalibrate your brain's understanding of your capabilities. You literally reprogram your own limits. Your assignment, the 4x4x48 challenge. Every 4 hours for 48 hours, do a 4-mile run or walk. That's 12 sessions over 2 days with minimal sleep. This isn't about speed, it's about completion. When you're on the 8th or 9th session, sleep-deprived and sore, your governor will be screaming to stop. That's exactly when the real training happens. Can't do the full challenge? Start with a scaled version. 1 mile every 4 hours for 24 hours. Build up over time. The specific distances matter less than the principle, forcing your brain to perform when every signal is telling you to stop. The governor can be defeated only through direct confrontation. You must put yourself in situations where quitting is the most appealing option, and then refuse to quit. Each victory over the governor weakens its hold on you. Each time you push past, "I can't," those words lose a little more of their power. Remember, the governor never goes away completely. It's hardwired into your biology. The goal isn't to eliminate it, but to recognize its voice for what it is, a cautious underestimation of your true capacity, and develop the mental strength to override it when achievement demands. Random suffering doesn't build mental toughness. Strategized suffering does. The difference: intention, progression, and specificity. You need a system for discomfort that systematically targets your weaknesses and builds your mental calluses where you need them most. Most people who attempt to build mental toughness make one of two mistakes. They either take on too much too soon and burn out, or they apply discomfort in areas that don't address their actual limitations. Effective strategized suffering requires honest self-assessment followed by targeted discomfort. Here's how to build your own strategized suffering program. See, first, identify your quit points, the specific types of discomfort that cause you to give up. Is it physical pain, boredom, social discomfort, intellectual challenge? Be brutally honest about where you're most likely to quit when things get hard. Next, design progressive exposure to exactly that type of discomfort. If you quit when things get physically painful, your discomfort training needs to center on physical challenges with increasing intensity. If you quit when tasks become boring or repetitive, you need to design monotonous challenges that progressively increase in duration. Your assignment: create a 30-day strategized suffering calendar. Each day should include one deliberate discomfort exercise that targets your specific quit points. Start small, discomfort you can definitely handle, and increase by no more than 5 to 10% each day. For example, if cold exposure is your focus, start with 15 seconds of cold water, then 17 seconds, then 19 seconds, and so on. The key to strategized suffering is consistency over intensity. It's better to do a manageable discomfort exercise every single day than to do an extreme challenge once a week. The goal is to systematically recalibrate your relationship with specific types of discomfort, and that happens through frequent exposure, not occasional heroic efforts. Remember, strategized suffering isn't about proving your toughness to others. It's about systematically eliminating the quit points that have been holding you back from your potential. It's about building calluses precisely where your mental skin has been softest. When you target your suffering strategically, no discomfort is wasted. Discipline isn't a personality trait. It's a skill that can be developed through deliberate practice. And not all discipline is created equal. What we're after is uncommon discipline, the kind that persists when motivation fades, when no one is watching, and when every external factor is pushing you toward comfort. Most people rely on motivation to drive their actions. That's why most people fail. Motivation is fickle. It comes and goes. Uncommon discipline doesn't wait for motivation. It creates systems that make action inevitable regardless of how you feel. The foundation of uncommon discipline is the pre-commitment. This means making decisions in advance, removing the possibility of choice in the moment when discomfort arrives. Don't decide each morning whether you'll work out at once. Schedule it, and make the workout location, time, and content non-negotiable. Your assignment: identify 3 areas of your life where your discipline has been inconsistent. For each area, create a pre-commitment protocol that removes decision-making from the equation. For example, physical training. Pre-commit to specific days, times, and workouts. Pack your gym bag the night before. Schedule it in your calendar as a non-negotiable appointment. Nutrition. Pre-commit to your meals for the week. Prep them in advance. Remove all non-compliant foods from your environment. Deep work. Pre-commit to specific hours for focused work. Turn off all notifications during these hours. Predetermine what tasks will be completed. The power of pre-commitment is that it bypasses the negotiation that happens when discomfort arrives. When the alarm goes off at 5 a.m. for your workout, there's no internal debate about whether you feel like going. You pre-committed. The decision was made yesterday. All that's left is execution. Uncommon discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about having systems that bring you back on track quickly when you deviate. When you miss a workout, does your system ensure you're back at it the next day? Or do you spiral into weeks of inactivity? Uncommon discipline has recovery protocols built in. Remember, everyone wants the results that come from discipline, but few are willing to build the systems that make discipline inevitable. Don't be most people. Build the systems, embrace the discomfort, become uncommon. Your schedule reveals your priorities. Not what you say your priorities are, what they actually are. Most people's schedules are built around comfort, convenience, and what feels good in the moment. The savage schedule is built around growth, achievement, and deliberate discomfort. The average person's day has massive inefficiencies. Hours lost to social media, entertainment, and activities that contribute nothing to their goals. The savage schedule eliminates these inefficiencies, not to cram more productivity into your day, but to create space for the deliberate discomfort that drives real growth. Building your savage schedule starts with a time audit. For 1 week, record exactly how you spend each hour. Be brutally honest. Then categorize each activity as either advancing your goals or not. Most people are shocked to discover they waste 4-6 hours daily on activities that contribute nothing to what they claim to want. Your assignment: create your savage schedule for the next 30 days. Include these non-negotiable elements: a morning discomfort ritual, cold shower, difficult workout, or other deliberate challenge. At least 2 hours of deep work on your most important goal before any digital distractions, a midday physical challenge that breaks your comfort routine, an evening review session with your accountability mirror, a specific bedtime preparation ritual that ensures quality sleep. The savage schedule isn't about being busy. It's about being intentional. It's about ensuring that discomfort is scheduled rather than avoided, that growth activities happen before comfort activities, and that what you say matters actually gets prioritized in how you spend your time. The hardest part of implementing the savage schedule isn't creating it. It's sticking to it when every part of you wants to deviate back toward comfort. This is where your pre-commitments and accountability systems prove their worth. Your savage schedule only works if it's treated as law, not as suggestion. Remember, your schedule isn't just a tool for managing time. It's a system for ensuring that discomfort happens consistently enough to drive transformation. If your schedule doesn't make you at least slightly uncomfortable to look at, it's not savage enough to drive uncommon achievement. Most people see failure as something to avoid. The uncommon see it as a weapon, a tool that, when used correctly, builds capabilities that cannot be developed any other way. The question isn't whether you'll fail, you will. The question is whether you've developed the mindset to extract every ounce of growth from that failure. Failure is the ultimate discomfort. It triggers shame, inadequacy, and the fear of judgment. That's precisely why it has such transformative potential. When you develop the capacity to move toward failure rather than away from it, you gain access to opportunities for growth that most people spend their lives avoiding. Weaponizing failure starts with actively seeking challenges where failure is likely. Most people stay safely within their capabilities. The uncommon deliberately take on challenges where they're not sure they can succeed. They recognize that staying within your proven capabilities ensures you'll never discover your true potential. Your assignment: the failure pursuit protocol. Identify 3 areas where you've been playing it safe. For each area, design a specific challenge that's right at the edge of your capabilities, something where failure is a real possibility. Commit to all 3 challenges with specific deadlines. When, not if, failure occurs, implement the after-action review. What specifically went wrong? What capabilities do I need to develop to overcome this specific failure point? How can I design a progressive training program to develop those capabilities? When will I attempt this challenge again with my improved capabilities? The key to weaponizing failure is removing the emotional response and focusing on the mechanical one. Failure isn't a judgment on your worth, it's data about your current capabilities. The uncommon extract this data ruthlessly, use it to guide their development, and return to the challenge with enhanced capabilities. Remember, every significant achievement in human history came after multiple failures. The difference between those who achieve and those who don't isn't in how often they fail, it's in how they respond to that failure. Will you use it as an excuse to retreat to comfort, or will you weaponize it to become uncommon? Your body is the primary battleground for mental toughness. How you respond to physical discomfort directly translates to how you'll respond to every other form of challenge. That's why physical training isn't just about building muscle or endurance. It's about systematically expanding your capacity to embrace discomfort. Most people's training programs are designed around comfort. What exercises they enjoy, what doesn't hurt too much, what lets them feel accomplished without pushing their true limits. The uncommon design their training specifically to target their mental quit points, to force confrontation with the discomfort they most want to avoid. Beyond limits, training isn't about volume or intensity alone. It's about the relationship between your mind and body during discomfort. It's about teaching your mind to remain in control when your body is screaming to stop. This skill transfers directly to every other challenging endeavor in your life. Your assignment, the descendant protocol. Choose a compound movement, squat, deadlift, pull-up, or push-up. Determine your current maximum reps with proper form. On day 1, complete 90% of your max reps. Rest 60 seconds. Complete another set at 80% of max, rest 60 seconds. Continue this descending pattern, 70%, 60%, etc., until you can no longer complete a single rep with proper form. Each day, attempt to add one additional set to your descendant protocol. This isn't about increasing your max. It's about teaching your mind to continue producing effort when your body is exhausted. It's about expanding the gap between physical fatigue and mental surrender. The key to Beyond Limits training is focusing on the conversation in your mind during the later sets. When your body says stop, what specific thoughts arise? What rationalizations does your mind create? Becoming aware of these thought patterns is the first step to overriding them. Remember, physical training beyond limits isn't about achieving any particular physical outcome, though those will come. It's about developing the mental framework that allows you to continue functioning at a high level when every signal in your body is telling you to quit. This capacity, once developed, will serve you in every challenging endeavor you undertake. What you eat isn't just fuel for your body, it's training for your mind. Every food choice is either strengthening or weakening your ability to choose discomfort over comfort, long-term benefit over short-term pleasure. Most people never make this connection. They see nutrition as separate from mental toughness. It's not. The modern food environment is designed to hijack your brain's reward systems. Hyper-palatable, calorie-dense foods trigger dopamine releases that create immediate pleasure at the cost of long-term health. Choosing to override these evolutionary drives doesn't just improve your physical health, it directly strengthens your capacity for delayed gratification and discomfort tolerance. Nutrition as mental training isn't about any specific diet. It's about the intentional practice of choosing what serves your long-term goals over what provides immediate comfort. It's about recognizing hunger not as an emergency to be immediately addressed, but as a sensation to be experienced and, when appropriate, endured. Your assignment, the Hunger Window Protocol. For the next 30 days, compress your eating window to 8 hours daily. Eat only between 12 p.m. and 8 p.m., or another 8-hour window of your choosing. During the fasting hours, pay close attention to hunger signals without immediately responding to them. Notice the thoughts that arise when hunger appears, the rationalizations, the urgency, the discomfort. Then choose to sit with that discomfort rather than immediately resolving it. This protocol isn't primarily about the physical benefits of time-restricted eating, though those exist. It's about developing the mental framework to experience discomfort without immediately seeking relief. It's about teaching your mind that hunger, like all forms of discomfort, is not an emergency but an experience you can choose to endure when it serves your larger purpose. The secondary aspect of nutrition as mental training is food choice discipline. When you do eat, choose foods that align with your performance goals rather than your comfort desires. Each time you choose nutrient-dense whole foods over hyper-palatable processed options, you're strengthening the neural pathways that enable choosing discomfort for growth. Remember, every meal is a training opportunity, not just for your body, but for your mind. The discipline you develop through intentional nutrition directly transfers to every other area where comfort tempts you away from achievement. Don't waste these daily opportunities to strengthen your mental toughness. Transformation requires sustained effort over time. Most people underestimate what they can achieve in 100 days of focused, deliberate discomfort. The 100-day challenge creates a framework for this sustained effort, long enough to produce significant change, short enough to maintain psychological commitment. The problem with most achievement attempts is inconsistency. People go hard for a few days, then retreat to comfort when the initial motivation fades. The 100-day challenge addresses this by creating a non-negotiable daily commitment that continues regardless of motivation, circumstances, or temporary results. The structure is simple but demanding. Choose one habit that, if performed daily for 100 days without exception, would fundamentally change your life trajectory. This isn't about massive daily efforts. It's about unwavering consistency on a single high-leverage behavior that accumulates impact over time. Your assignment. Select your keystone habit for the 100-day challenge. This should be specific enough to be measurable. Not eat better, but eat zero processed foods. Challenging enough to create discomfort, but sustainable enough to perform daily. High leverage enough that consistent performance will create cascading positive effects. Document your commitment publicly. Tell at least 5 people about your challenge. Create daily accountability through photos, check-ins, or a tracking system visible to others. The public commitment dramatically increases follow-through by adding social consequences to potential failure. The 100-day challenge works because it forces you to develop systems that don't rely on motivation. By day 30, your motivation will have faded. By day 50, you'll be questioning whether the effort is worth it. By day 70, you'll be looking for excuses to quit. These moments are precisely when the real transformation happens, when you continue despite every internal voice telling you to return to comfort. Remember, the 100-day challenge isn't about the specific habit you choose, though that matters. It's about developing the capacity to continue showing up day after day when nothing is forcing you to do so. This capacity, once developed, becomes the foundation for uncommon achievement in every area of your life. Accountability requires visibility. What you can see, you can measure. What you can measure, you can improve. The warboard is your command center for deliberate discomfort, a physical display that makes your commitments, progress, and failures impossible to ignore or rationalize away. Most people keep their goals and progress private, often in their heads. This allows for convenient reinterpretation when discomfort pushes them toward quitting. The warboard eliminates this escape route by making your commitments and progress visible, not just to you but to anyone who enters your space. Your warboard should be prominently positioned where you'll see it multiple times daily. A whiteboard, a corkboard, or even a dedicated wall section works. The key is that it can't be hidden, minimized, or ignored when you're not in the mood to confront your progress or lack thereof. Your assignment: create your warboard with these 5 essential components. Victory targets: your specific, measurable goals with deadlines. Daily non-negotiables: the discomfort practices you commit to performing every single day. Progress. Trackers: visual representations of your consistency and improvement. Failure log: documented instances where you quit, with specific analysis of quit points. The why: a powerful emotional reminder of what drives your commitment to discomfort. Update your warboard daily. Track your compliance with non-negotiables. Record measurements of progress. Document failures immediately when they occur. The warboard works only if it reflects reality with brutal honesty. No selective updating, no convenient omissions. The power of the warboard is that it makes your relationship with discomfort visible. On days when you choose comfort over growth, that choice is reflected on your board. On days when you push through discomfort toward achievement, that victory is documented. Over time, the patterns become undeniable, both to you and to anyone who sees your board. Remember, the war board isn't just a tracking tool, it's a commitment made physical. It's the difference between saying, I'm going to embrace discomfort, and creating a system that makes that embrace visible, measurable, and inescapable. In the battle against comfort, visibility is a weapon. Use it. The ultimate challenge isn't starting the deliberate discomfort method, it's continuing it when you've already achieved more than those around you. Most people plateau once they've surpassed their peers. They look around, see they're ahead of the pack, and use that as justification to ease up on their discomfort practice. The truly uncommon don't compare themselves to others, they compare themselves only to their potential. They recognize that being better than most is a dangerously low standard in a world where most people are living at 40% of their capacity. The goal isn't to be uncommon among the common, it's to be uncommon even among those who are already uncommon. Living at this level requires creating an environment that supports continued discomfort when everything and everyone around you encourages comfort. Your social circle, your physical spaces, your information sources, all must be intentionally designed to pull you toward continued growth rather than comfortable plateau. Your assignment, the elevation protocol. For each area of your life, identify the 5 people whose standards for themselves most challenge and inspire you. These may not be people you currently know personally. Create a deliberate plan to increase your exposure to these individuals through direct contact, their content, or study of their methods. Simultaneously, reduce exposure to individuals whose standards tacitly encourage comfort or complacency. The second component of living uncommon among the uncommon is continual recalibration of your discomfort practices. What challenged you a year ago may now be within your comfort zone. The deliberate discomfort method requires regular assessment and adjustment of your practices to ensure they continue to push your boundaries rather than merely maintain your current capabilities. Finally, living uncommon among the uncommon means becoming a standard bearer for others, not through preaching or judgment, but through quiet, consistent demonstration of what's possible when someone commits fully to the deliberate discomfort method. Your example becomes both your accountability and your legacy. Remember, the ultimate achievement isn't reaching some specific goal. It's developing the capacity to continuously push beyond comfort toward your potential, regardless of what those around you are doing. It's about building a life where discomfort isn't something you occasionally embrace for specific achievements, but the standard operating system through which you approach every day, every challenge, and every opportunity. The deliberate discomfort method isn't a program you complete. It's a fundamental shift in how you relate to challenge, to pain, to effort, and ultimately to your own potential. It's the recognition that comfort has been the enemy all along, and that on the other side of deliberate discomfort lies everything you've claimed you want to achieve. What will you do with this knowledge? Will you return to comfort, or will you choose the uncommon path? The decision is yours. The potential is waiting. The discomfort is ready to teach you who you really are. When you feel the urge to quit, recognize it as a signal that you're approaching growth, not a warning to stop. That voice in your head telling you, this is too hard, or you deserve a break, is your governor kicking in at 40% of your capacity. Develop the habit of saying, good, this is where transformation happens, every time discomfort arrives. Make this your automatic response to pain, boredom, and challenge. Don't trust your first instinct to stop. It's almost always premature and designed to keep you comfortable, not to help you achieve. Create systems that make discomfort inevitable rather than optional. Stop relying on motivation or willpower. Both will fail you when things get hard. Instead, use pre-commitments, public accountability, and environmental design to force consistent action. Schedule your discomfort sessions as non-negotiable appointments with yourself. Create a war board that makes your commitments and progress visible. Tell people what you're doing so backing out becomes more painful than continuing. Remove all possible paths to comfort during your designated discomfort periods. Delete apps, disable notifications, clear your environment of temptations. Deliberately expose yourself to controlled discomfort daily, not just when you feel like it. Take cold showers every morning, not just when you need to toughen up. Fast regularly, not just when you want to lose weight. Do the hardest task first each day, not just when you feel motivated. The power of deliberate discomfort comes from consistency over intensity. A daily 4-minute cold shower for 100 days will build more mental calluses than a single ice bath for an hour. Your brain doesn't transform through occasional heroic efforts, but through regular exposure to manageable discomfort that incrementally increases over time. Stop comparing yourself to others and start comparing yourself only to your potential. Being better than most people is a dangerously low standard when most live at 40% of their capacity. Instead, measure yourself against what you're truly capable of becoming. Identify the specific discomforts you avoid most consistently. These are precisely where your greatest growth opportunities lie. If public speaking terrifies you, that's exactly where you need to focus your discomfort practice. If physical exertion makes you quit, that's where you build your mental calluses. Your avoidance patterns reveal your development opportunities. Remember that embracing discomfort isn't about proving your toughness. It's about achieving what matters most to you. Every significant achievement requires pushing through periods of difficulty when most would quit. Your capacity to endure these periods, to continue executing at a high level when your mind is screaming for relief, is the single greatest predictor of your success. This capacity isn't fixed. It can be systematically developed through deliberate practice. Start today. Choose one discomfort practice and commit to 100 days without exception. Document your journey. When you look back after 100 days of deliberate discomfort, you won't recognize the person who started, and that's exactly the point.